Hi, I'm Jennifer. Welcome to Salento. Today, I wanted to discuss with you one of the major reasons why we actually decided to move to Italy, and it was healthcare. So, funny, on the news today, I heard that one drug company is taking over another drug company for about $2.5 billion. And I said, oh my gosh, where are they getting $2.5 billion from? And they're getting it from you, and Americans. Being in America, in the United States, we're used to very high healthcare costs. We're used to high drug costs. And the drug companies know this. And this is where they get most of the money that they use to take profits and also start to acquire other companies, right? So when we first went to Italy, we had already gotten our checkups in the United States when we left and weren't on any medications. Then when we went to Italy, our diets changed a little bit. I think we were eating a little bit more meat and cheese, which is good. A lot more good food, but we were eating probably things that maybe a little bit too much. So the doctor was like, "Okay, your cholesterol is a little elevated. It's not high. It's not scary, but we don't put you on drugs right away. We try natural things first." And that's one of the things that they do not do in the United States. Automatically, they'll put you on a drug, sometimes two, and they say you have to get your cholesterol down or else you're going to, something bad is going to happen to you. And so we tried the natural thing, and Dennis did too, and it actually worked. We didn't need to start taking drugs or anything like that. And we modified our diet a little bit. So everything in moderation, but we didn't really have to change a lot of things to get that to be normalized. Where in the US, you probably would have been put on a drug and told to stay on that drug forever until, whatever, until you decided to not take it anymore, or maybe on your own, you decided to explore your own natural options. So, one of the funny stories that I wanted to share with you was last year when we were in Italy and we had family visiting, they were running out of one of their drugs for diabetes, one of their insulin pens. And they come in a pack, I think it's like 4 or 5 pens in a box. And he said, I'm going to run out and I'm not going home right away. I'm still traveling. And if I could get this filled, because I won't have enough to make it until I get home. So we said, okay, let's go to the pharmacy and let's see what they say. So we took him to the pharmacy and we showed them the package and we said, can he purchase this? He's on vacation, that he's running out. And they said, absolutely, no problem. They got the box, and when they went into the back, he's worried. And he's like, oh no, I'm worried. How much is this drug going to cost? I don't, they don't take insurance here. And what am I going to do? So I said, I don't think it'll be bad. He said, well, if it's a lot, I have to get it anyway. So it doesn't matter. So they come out from the pharmacist comes out from the back and he brings the prescription. He shows it and he said, "Oh yeah, it's the same exact thing." And then he said, "It's 38 euros." and the family member was like, "What are you talking about? That's it for one pen?" Oh no, he goes, "No, the whole prescription, the whole box, 38 euros." And the family member said, "What's going on? My copay, just for my copay, is $120 for this in the United States. How can Italy sell it over the counter to a non-resident, non-citizen for 38 euros?" Well, Dennis is, I don't know if anybody knows, Dennis is a pharmacist. So, and when he was owning his own pharmacy and working in the pharmacy, he said that drug used to cost $500 just to buy in the United States. And he said, I don't know what it is now because that was a few years ago and I haven't purchased them since then. I don't know what the cost has gone up to, but back a few years ago, that was $500 just as a cost. So to understand why these drugs cost so much in the US and they don't cost as much in other countries, European countries and other countries around the world, is because the United States allows something called a PBM. So a PBM is a pharmacy benefit manager. And what the PBM is, the middleman between the drug manufacturers and the pharmacies. They stick themselves right in the middle and they purchase the drugs from the drug company, and then they in turn sell it to the pharmacies. But in the middle, they're making money, and in some instances, they're making a lot of money. So that is why when you go to the pharmacy to pick up your drug, and that you don't have coverage for it or whatever, and they say, "Oh, by the way, it's $1,200," and you said, I can't afford $1,200. Now I can't take that drug. What am I going to do? And that's why it's that expensive. So it may not cost that much from the manufacturer, but that pharmacy benefit manager that's in the middle, them along with the insurance companies are fixed in the government to make sure that you're always paying a lot of money for drugs, and that the United States really takes the brunt of the hit for those drugs for the rest of the world, because in the rest of the world they do not charge prices like that. And the reason is because other countries wouldn't allow someone to come in between a drug manufacturer and a pharmacy, or someone who was be able to dispense that drug, and say, you're going to make that too expensive because our people won't be able to afford it, or you can't make it that expensive because we want our people to be healthy. If they need a drug, and through their system, right, in Italy's system, they try to do natural things first. And then if those things don't work, then they'll say, okay, I think that you really need to have a drug because we tried the natural way and it's not working. You tried diet, it's not working, whatever. Let's, now we have to go on the prescription route and give you a prescription for that. They are making so much money between the insurance companies and the PBMs and the drug manufacturers. They all agree on how much to charge for certain things, even though things may not cost that much to make. You can see, and sometimes you find out about it, right? The insulin one that came out about a year ago that said the insulin prices were going up, 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 and then people were complaining, and then they said, oh, we're gonna try to get the insulin prices down, and then they cut it down to the prices that it was 10 years ago. And people were like, well, why did it go up in price? It's not that it got more expensive to make. It's just that those drug prices were increasing along with the economy, so that it's all relative. They have to charge you this much because other things cost this much, and they can't make this inexpensive. And why should they if they can get you to pay for it? So they're all making billions and billions of dollars at your expense, but they're not doing it in other countries. So if you think about it, why is the United States a for-profit system? Why is healthcare a system that is created to make money off of people? Shouldn't it be a system that encourages health and makes people healthier? That is not the case with our system. We spend more money on people per capita on healthcare in the United States, and we're 11th in healthcare. Italy is number one. We're 11th. And on the index of the health index, there's an index, a separate index that gauges the health of the people that are in that country, meaning access to healthcare, longevity, how long people live, how many years people live. And Italy is way up above the United States. There are a few countries that are ahead of Italy for things like that. That they might be smaller countries, or they may have more healthcare dollars that they're able to put into their systems. But the United States is way down at the end of the list. So you can understand why a country that spends so much on healthcare has worse outcomes, and their system isn't a healthy system to be in, and their residents, their citizens aren't healthy. So this was an eye opener for us, because when we were deciding on where to go, also, we said, Italy is way up on the list for healthcare. Why is it so high? And one of those reasons is because the cost is not that high. So people really can access the healthcare system if they're not automatically covered by being a citizen or a full-time resident. And they are really geared towards ensuring that the patient is healthy, and they do things that are preventative, with diet and the way that they eat and the way that they shop, or the groceries that they allow to be in their supermarkets. They don't have GMOs in their supermarkets, but the US is filled with it. So maybe that has something to do with it, why the people in the United States are a lot less healthy than people in other countries, is because the government or these companies are allowing these things to be in our food supply. They're allowing the drug companies to all of a sudden, promote drugs and doctors to push drugs on people right away instead of trying to see if there's some kind of a natural remedy or something that they can do, lifestyle changes. And they always say that in the beginning, oh, you should exercise more and eat right. How do you do that? How do you do that if the food isn't any good and you're busy, you're working all the time, or you have no time to exercise? How do you have a healthy lifestyle? And I really think that if someone was thinking about maybe retiring early, or they had the means to retire early and they wanted to be healthier, the US is really not the place to do it. And I know people might say, oh, I live here and it's very healthy and we don't have this. I'm not talking about the entire United States. Obviously, there's places that you can live or you can, be that are a lot healthier than other parts of the United States. But as a whole, an entire system, this isn't the place that I would say right away that they're very concerned about you being healthy, because they aren't. And they don't allow drug commercials on TV in Italy. The most you'll get on television is an advertisement maybe for a muscle rub or a headache powder. And that's about it. They don't allow drugs on TV, where since we've been here in the US, we're going back in very, very soon. But since we've been here, that's all we see on TV is drug commercials. And I said, how can this actually be allowed? But they allow it. So, it's up to you to make your own decision. If this is, an eye opener for you, that you didn't realize what was going on around you, you're not alone. Everybody's been being duped, and it's been happening for a really long time. But we can make a choice, and being able to make choices, we can choose where we want to live or what we want to do. If you can, that's a great, there's a great conversation to have with yourself or the person that you live with, that you might want to make a change for the a healthy life, for a healthy future. That you It doesn't look promising in the US. If this is the way that it is now, what's it going to be like in 10 years? it I don't believe, personally, I don't believe that it's going to get better. I think that it's going to get much, much worse. And they're putting these things into play now that will ensure that they continue into the future. I don't know if lobbyists will, all of a sudden say, oh, I don't think we should lobby to make sure that, drug prices stay high, and that we can still charge a lot of money for these prescriptions and charge people more money because they're used to paying it. And they have an insurance system in place. Countries that have a healthcare system that's run by the government, in the US, they would say that's bad because the government's telling you what you can do and where you can go. No, they're not. When they're in charge of things, they're responsible to the people, and they obviously don't want to pay more than what something costs or what they feel that it should cost. So they're going to negotiate on your behalf and have your best interest at heart. And that, to me, is, you can still use the private system if you want to. You can still go somewhere else if you want to see another doctor to get a second opinion. But most of the time, when you go to get health care in Italy, when I've gone up to appointments and things like that, they take care of everything right there in that one visit. They don't make you come back. Oh, you need to come back for another visit. You need to do this. Keep coming back, coming back, coming back. They don't do that. They see you. They say, you need this, go here and get this. You need this, go here and get that. Before you come, go get your lab work done so we can address everything at once. So you're not spending your life in a doctor's office, which it's not supposed to be. You spending so much time there, you're supposed to get taken care of and then go about your business, go about living your life. So I hope that this helped you today. If you have any questions about retiring, or you're thinking about retiring and you're not sure if you're going to be able to, if you have the means to, maybe you want to retire early and you're not sure if you're going to have enough money, or if you want to get a visa and you're not sure what the consulate wants, you can visit my website at salvesalento.net, or you can go into the comments, leave me a note, and I answer you as much as I possibly can through the comments. If you like this video, please click on the like and subscribe. And thank you to our members. There's more people joining, so we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Ciao.